Shabbat Shalom, Zion. So first of all, I want to give all praises to the great I am. So I want to talk about something really important. It's not going to be a long lesson, but I want to talk about this gospel being preached to the 12 tribes. You know, I can't stress enough how many of our people overlook this because the Bible is clear. It says that when the gospel of this book is preached to all the 12 tribes, then the end will come. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and go to Matthew chapter 24 and let's look at verse 14. And it says, "And this Besorah of the kingdom," and that's gospel, "of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations." And remember, each tribe makes a nation. So to all the 12 tribes that are scattered to the four corners. And get this, "and then shall the end come." Now, why am I stressing this point? Because it's so important for us to know this. Why? Because we know that many things still need to take place before all hell breaks loose. The Most High's word will not come back void, and it is clear. It does not matter what you currently see going on in the political world. The Bible said that it would be wars and rumors of wars. And this little thing that's going on between U.S. and Iran, that ain't nothing. And I'm telling you, Zion, nothing is going to happen unless the Most High allows it. Because many of our people are still asleep and are waiting to wake up in their appointed time, just like you and I woke up in our appointed time. Now, when we look around and see what's going on in this world, we see a lot of things increasing, like disasters, natural disasters are increasing all over the world. And it's interesting because now scientists are starting to explore these 12 vortices. And I truly believe they were placed there by the Most High. But these 12 vortices are supposed to be like this heavy gravitational magnetic pull that's causing more destruction, that's causing an increase of global warming and increase in hurricanes and all the natural destructions that are happening in this world. But we all know that the Most High is in control of all of that, Zion. And so we're going to continue to see those increase. We're going to continue to see increase in fires and what have you, death and destruction. But it's not done yet because many of our people, now listen to what the word said. It says, "Until this Besorah is preached unto all the nations," the 12 tribes. Once our people get this message, and not only just waking up from this message, but getting back to the laws, commandments, and statutes. That's what's going to set the deal, Zion. That's what's going to close it out. And then our people will be sealed. And then all hell is going to break loose. Now, we know according to Isaiah 11:11 through 12, and Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 10, that our people are all over the world to the four corners. And we have our people scattered throughout parts of Africa, the Middle East, what they call the Middle East today, and the Mediterranean Sea. And many of our brothers and sisters in those regions are waking up. And these are mostly of the northern tribes, because it says the camps of Judah will wake up first, and then our northern tribe brothers are going to start waking up. But we know Judah is dispersed to the four corners of the earth. So the kingdom, Israel and Judah, the two split kingdoms, are coming together. They're waking up. That's the first stage. So when we look at our people and we see our people waking up all over, remember, Zion, this is only the beginning. Now, as our people start getting back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, that's when it's going to start breaking loose like we've never seen it before. And the Most High is going to seal his people. And see, this is why we need to work while it's day. It's almost midnight, Zion, but not quite. It's getting there. And while we have the time, while we still have our freedoms to speak and choose to do what we want to do, we work as hard as we can to get this Besorah, this gospel, to our brothers and sisters. Because it's coming. It's going to come a time where we're not going to be able to do any of this. None of this. And so we must work now while we can. Because as we speak, there are laws being put in place that's going to shut us down. Hate speech, hate crimes, all of it. We're already starting to see that, Zion. We saw that with the incidents that happened with the stabbing and with the New Jersey incident. I mean, they're coming up with all kinds of stuff. So, yes, it's coming. Then we're going to have the staging of the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is being put in play as we speak. But the staging is going to happen, and that is still yet to happen. We have the testimonies of the two witnesses that still has to happen. The pouring out of the seals. The pouring out of the 7 trumpets. The pouring out of the 7 last plagues. And the fulfillment of the 4 horsemen. None of that has happened yet, Zion, but it's going to happen in the future. We don't know when. We can't put a time lapse on it or a time frame. The Bible also says that we will be delivered up to be afflicted by these evil nations. We're going to appear before their courts and their princes and their principalities to be tried. Our faith is going to be tried. And soon, before you even know it, the fulfillment of Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1 is going to come into fruition. We are going to be delivered up, Zion, to our enemies. And it's not going to be anything nice. They're going to seek to kill us. A great time of trouble since there was no nation upon this earth. Oh, it's going to get real, Zion. That's why we still have a lot of work to do. You think the Most High is going to come back and confess us before the world in the condition that we're in right now? We have to be purified, Zion. We got to go through the fire now. Some of you may be saying, well, I'm going through the fire now. No, we ain't been through the fire yet, Zion. It ain't quite midnight yet because we ain't seen nothing yet. And you know what's so crazy? I found that your, and I call them the 1619, the 2019 400-year seeker fables. You know, it's something because they're always focused just on the United States, as though if the United States is the only place that slavery existed, which is so ironic, you know. But I guess that they're going to have to learn the hard way and experience something that they never experienced before, because the Most High is getting ready to show us, Zion, that we cannot put a time lapse on his coming. We cannot put a time frame on his coming. The best thing that we can do is work out our salvation with fear and trembling, keep these laws, commandments, and statutes, and pray that the Most High will deliver his people and deliver us in a time of trouble. As I stated earlier, it's going to be the Most High's patience that's going to try our faith. Now, I want you to turn to Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter 6, and let's look at verse 11. And this is right here is talking about the 144,000. It says, and white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Y'all hear that, Zion? Let me read that last part again. Should be fulfilled. That has not happened yet. So in other words, the apostles, disciples who died a horrible death, even Hamashiach himself was hung on a tree. Zion, we're going to have to go through some similar deaths. Yes, many of us are going to die a horrible death because we stand up for this faith. Now, not everybody is going to have to go through this because many of our people are going to fall asleep before this great time of trouble. All right? Many of our elders, many of our brothers and sisters, only the Most High knows. That's why we should just pray that it be the Most High's will for whatever. So if the Most High allows me to see this day, then so be it. If not, then may his will be done. Because many of our brothers and sisters are not going to be able to handle the things that are coming upon this earth, Zion, and upon his people, because many people are going to be ashamed. Many people, like Peter, are going to just deny, I never knew him. I'm not associated with that. It's coming, Zion. We're going to be tested beyond our imagination. But know this, Zion, our main mission right now is to work while it's day and keep these laws, commandments, and statutes, Zion, because you cannot get this word, you cannot get this truth, you cannot have understanding of this truth completely until you start keeping the laws, Zion. And I can prove that to you from scriptures. All right, go ahead and turn to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. All right, so now let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus in your Apocrypha, or if you got the Sefer, either one. Go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, and we're going to start with verse 19. Now, I want you to make note of this, Zion, because this is a heavy one. Starting with verse 19, it says, the knowledge of the commandments of Yahuwah is the doctrine of life. For those of you who are saying that you don't got to keep no laws, this is for you. Let's go back to verse 19 again. Let's start from the very beginning. It says, the knowledge of the commandments of Yahuwah is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. So Zion, we got to comprehend this, because see, many of our people read the scriptures, but they don't comprehend. There's a complete difference. Many of our people can read the scriptures and that's it, but they're not going to have no comprehension if you don't ask for understanding and put his word into practice. So the knowledge of the commandments of Yahuwah is the doctrine of life. That is beginning of knowledge, Zion, to understanding the holy scriptures, to unlocking the holy word of the Most High. Let's look at verse 20. It says, the fear of Yahuwah is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance, y'all hear that? Is the performance of the Torah and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Now, you want to know why David was so close to the Most High? Because David loved and kept the Most High's laws. So therefore, David was granted the understanding of the secrets of the Most High. When you read the book of Psalms, you can see the testimonies of David. He understood much because he was a man after the Most High's own heart, because he kept the laws, commandments, and statute. And notice, Zion, during King David's time, there was no other nation on earth that could mess with our forefathers during that time. That was the height of our rulership. So that goes to show you, Zion, when we get back to keeping these laws, commandments, and statutes, oh, you better believe the heathens are going to be in for one hell of a shock. But Zion, that's what we got to do. We got to work on getting back to that. And it's going to take some practice. That's why we rehearse the righteous acts. We keep rehearsing them. Now, we know we're not perfect, but we keep rehearsing these righteous acts until we get it. And we should love keeping these righteous acts. We should love participating in the Most High's feast days. If the heathens can keep and celebrate their wicked holidays, and I'm telling you, they go hard when it comes to their holidays, then why do we have a problem in keeping the Most High's feast days? But yet, our people will go celebrate these wicked holidays. But when it comes down to the Most High's laws, they turn their nose at it. I mean, it's a crime shame, Zion. Even amongst some of our awakened brothers and sisters is the same way. They're shunned at the feast days because they feel like, well, we don't got to keep these in this captivity. But I guarantee you, they be the same ones. They be going to their mother-in-law's house, their parents' house, bringing their kids to their wicked Thanksgiving and Christmas celebrations. You see what I'm saying, Zion? It's madness. So we got to get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes. We got to get back to the Most High, Zion, because it's not going to happen no other way. Go ahead and turn to First Baruch. First Baruch chapter 4, and let's look at verse 1. And it says, "This is the sefer of the commandments of Elohim." Y'all hear this? This is the sefer of the commandments of Elohim. Indicated that this is the Most High's laws, not man's, the Most High's. "And the Torah that endures forever. All they that guard it shall come to life." Y'all know what that word means, guard, Zion? It means you do everything that is necessary to keep these laws, commandments, and statutes. And you don't let nobody turn you to the side or turn you away from these laws. It says, "And the Torah that endures forever. All they that guard it shall come to life. But such as leave it shall die." This is no brainer, Zion. And you wonder why our people are perishing in this generation. You wonder why our people are getting shot down in the streets. You wonder why our people are facing such animosity. You wonder why we are at the bottom. We are the tail and not the head. It goes to show you, Zion, we are not keeping the laws of the Most High. It's the reason why we're in this situation that we're in. Our forefathers really jacked us up. I mean, big time. You know, you go back and you study what they did back during the reign of King David. I mean, they were keeping the laws, Zion. They loved keeping the laws. Had the most powerful army in the world. No nation could touch them because they were keeping the laws. Remember the curses of the laws and the blessings. When you read in Deuteronomy 28, and when you read those blessings, that is so true, Zion. So you can't get around this, Zion. There's only one way to go, and that's back to the Most High and keeping His laws, commandments, and statutes. Let's go to the book of Yashar or Jasher in your Sefer, either your Apocrypha, the book of Jasher, chapter 13 and verse 4. It's one of my many favorites. Verse 4, it says, "And now, therefore, if you will hearken to my voice and guard," there's the word guard, "and guard my commandments, my statutes, and my Torah, then will I cause your enemies to fall before you." Zion, I don't think y'all know the implication of this. It says, "Then will I cause your enemies to fall before you." Now hear this. "And I will multiply your seed like the stars of heaven, and will send my blessings upon all the works of your hands, and you shall lack nothing." Zion, what's so hard about obeying the Most High? Now let me tell you how easy keeping the Most High's laws are. Now, there's only 613 laws, which are simple. Now, to the average person, they may look at that and be like, "Wow, that's too many." But let me tell you something, Zion. The majority of them you're keeping already. Don't even realize it. You know. But did you know that there's over 3,000 laws on the book of the land just in the United States alone? Did y'all know that? 3,000 laws on the books. Everything from running a red light to extortion. But yet you're telling me that you can keep all of those laws. You won't go into anybody's store and steal something that don't belong to you. You won't run a red light. You will not forge a check. You won't do any of those things. But yet keeping the laws is hard for you? That blows my mind. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Because the Most High has never asked us to do anything that was difficult. You know, it was our rebellious forefathers who wanted to be like the other nations and blend with their heathen women. That's what got us in trouble in the first place. And that's why, y'all remember, if you read the book of Jubilees, read chapter 30. And the incident with Shechem. Remember when when Jacob's daughter was defiled, and she was only 12 at the time, and Levi and Simeon, I believe, went and they killed all the men at Shechem, and the Most High delivered them into their hands, because that goes to show you that the Most High was not going to allow them to mix with these heathen nations. We were never supposed to, Zion. Go read the book of Jubilees, chapter 30. I mean, it's an amazing story. But the Most High delivered that whole town into the hands of Jacob's son. And they killed all of them. They wiped them out, Zion. So that goes to show you how serious the Most High is when it comes to worshiping him and not blending in with these other nations. But when are we going to ever learn? I don't know what it's going to take for us to really get it. All right, so let's look at Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. Because this is serious. And I don't think we realize how serious this really is. And you wonder why our brothers and sisters caught up in these Christian churches still ain't got their blessing. They sitting up in these Sunday churches giving all their money to the pimping pastors and can't even pay their rent, can't even pay their bills. Let's look at Proverbs 28 and verse 9. Proverbs 28 and 9. It says, "He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law," or the Torah, "even his prayer shall be abomination." Read that again. "He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination." So you know what that means, Zion? So that means that our brothers and sisters who are asleep in these Sunday churches and they're hooping and hollering and praying in the Christ and whatever, Jesus' name and this and that, and they're not keeping no laws, their prayers are not even being heard. It's like their prayers just going up into the wind. That's scary. That is very frightening, Zion. But yet they think that the Most High is with them. They think that they're being led by the Spirit, when in reality they're being led by Satan himself. Well, it's getting ready to get real, Zion. We better wake up. We better wake up. All right, let's go back to Matthew chapter 24 and let's look at verse 29. And it says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened," has not happened yet, "and the moon shall not give her light," had not happened yet, "and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken." Now, those stars can also represent rulers and leadership, Zion, because we know that these leaders of these kingdoms are going to fall. Like the stars, they're going to fall. It's going to all happen. And then it goes to say, "And then shall appear the sign of the son of Adam in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the son of Adam coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." And then it says, "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a shofar, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." Now, before this happens, Zion, we're going to have to go through some things, and all the prophecies will be fulfilled. All right? So that's all I'm saying. So we gotta be ready at all times. We gotta live as though if the Most High was going to come back tomorrow. Now, why do I say that? Because you can walk out your house and you can get into a car accident, Yah forbid. But our life is not promised us, Zion. Because once we go, that's it. That's your judgment. You're whether you're sealed or not. That's it. So we really got to consider that. Tomorrow is not promised. And when it says that the sun and the moon will become dark, it said the sun and moon, because get it, while the sun is shining on one end, the moon is shining on the other end. So it says that both will be darkened. And that's still yet to take place, Zion. Now, get this right here in verse 34, same chapter. And it says, "This nation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled." It didn't say some of these things. It says all these things. So that means that the staging of the Antichrist, the witness of the two witnesses that are yet to take place and to finish out the pouring out of the seals, the great time of trouble, which is getting ready to increase. Yeah, we're getting into the beginning of the time of trouble, Zion. But like Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1 says, it's going to be a time like there was no nation upon this earth. Such a trouble. So we got to pray. We got to pray for strength. And Zion, we're going to have to get to a point. So we're going to have to be so mentally strong where we're going to have to really heavily depend upon the Most High, because we're not going to have each other's to pray for one another. Well, we'll be able to pray for one another, but as far as that physical presence in our assemblies that we're doing, that's going to all go away. So I say again, work while it's still day. Work while we can, Zion, and spreading this gospel to the four corners, to our brothers and sisters, however you do what you do, using your various talents, however the Most High allows you to do that, Zion. But we got to get this word out to our brothers and sisters. And we keep doing that and keep doing that. Because like it says in verse 36, it says, but of that day and hour knows no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So Zion, stop putting dates. Stop putting dates. People setting this 1619 to 2019. You can call it what you want. It's still date setting. It's still date setting. Just be content in keeping these laws and commandments and statutes and working out your faith with salvation, working out your salvation with fear and trembling. That's what we got to do, Zion, because we got to worry about that, than worry about some date setting. And that's what's wrong with our people. Our people are always following after the heathens, always trying to set some kind of date. The Most High is going to come on his turn. He's going to come on time, but he has a designated time when he's going to come. And only Elohim knows that, Zion. Not even the angels know that. Not even the Son knows. But the Father only. I mean, the Most High said it himself. He says, loose not the wind until my servants are sealed. So brothers and sisters, when the Most High wakes his people up and confirms all that he has, he's going to seal the deal, and that's going to be a wrap. Then we're going to start seeing all this stuff break loose, just like it said in the scriptures. So with that being said, I just wanted to drop some jewels from the word of the Most High. I pray that you all are having a wonderful Shabbat. I'll leave the intro video at the end because it has the Revelation 14:12. So with that being said, I say Shabbat Shalom and stay strong.
Gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Mashiach. Whoa, yeah. I gotta thank Yahweh for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, yeah, whoa. I'm here to encourage you, brothers and sisters, trying to paint to you a better picture. Everything I say, I back it up with the scriptures to get you out the matrix. It's been over 400 years of life. You gotta open up your eyes, 'cause there's so many reasons we in captivity. You gotta flee from the heathens. There is hope in our future, even though they trying to do us in. But but we live to fight another day. Vengeance is Yah. We'll be praying for Yahuwah's day. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Whoa. Here I beg to keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of Mashiach. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. I gotta thank Yahuwah for being the chosen seed of Israel. Here's the patience of the saints. Here I beg to keep the commandments of Yah, and the faith of the Mashiach. Oh, oh, hey, hey, whoa, whoa, do da da da, do we do da da, do we do da da, do da do, be da 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 da, do we do